Hi, and welcome to Empower Tomorrow. I'm your host, Kendall Goldenson, and I'm here with my best friend, Megan.
Hi guys.
Welcome. And today we're going to dive into this idea of saying yes to things and just pushing yourself to new limits that you really never thought you would do. So welcome. We'll kind of start off with this idea of saying yes. I mean, we did just run Ragnar.
Mm-hmm.
What a whirlwind that was. And, we both said yes to that, maybe on a few too many glasses of wine.
Couple glasses.
A few glasses. But as, we reflect back after, what do you think that idea of, saying yes did to you in, your life?
I think it was a super cool looking back. I think
You're all good. You can edit.
Okay. I think saying yes is just it gets you out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing things that you never thought that you would be doing ever. And I think we're both pushing our bodies to new limits. Neither of us really have you did track, but I've never seriously ran like this before. And so it was cool to just see what I could do by just saying yes. So
yeah, and you absolutely crushed it. I mean, I did run track and cross country, but as we both know, I did not train for this race.
Yes.
I went couch to 15 and a half miles in Snowmass. It's great.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, seeing my body's capability to go out and just do that was so, incredible. It's I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess, maybe I'm thankful for those few glasses of wine. I mean, few glasses of wine to push you, but maybe mine had some other things going on.
I know, literally.
Yeah. So I guess, as you're now post Ragnar, what are things that you want to do and to say yes?
Gosh, I think I want to get myself more uncomfortable. I know that building up to Ragnar, I was super nervous and I was like, oh my god, what did I get myself into?
Mm-hmm.
And so just either joining run clubs or doing more things that make my nerves go off. Because then you see afterward that you're like, oh, I was worried for no reason. Or, yeah.
It's being comfortable, in the uncomfort.
Yes.
I feel the same way. And it's especially now, what are ways that, I can create that to be added into my, lifestyle? Because it was probably, the best thing that I've ever done.
Yeah. No, it was Ragnar. So much fun.
It was so much fun. Just, being able to run in the mountains. I mean, in the dark. You ran in the pouring rain.
Yeah, I know.
How was that?
It was... Honestly, I didn't even notice it. And I kept telling you this, and you guys were like, oh, you ran in it was dumping rain. I was like, I was just trying to get up the mountain. My brain was elsewhere. So, and I think that, also goes to show that in those moments, all you're trying to do is, stay positive and remind yourself that you are capable of doing this and nothing else matters in those moments. So.
Yeah, I feel for me, I mean, after every race and little leg, I think I literally shared my little positive pep talks that I had to give myself up the mountain, and it was just you got this. And it was honestly just a reminder to me that you said yes to this, but also that you can do it. And so my pep talks of come on, Ken, you got this. You have to prove to yourself that you can. All these other people are you're gonna run an 18-minute mile, and I'm literally
no.
Fuck no. No.
I'm just trying to get done.
I'm just trying to get
finished.
Done. We finished. But what did you do to remind yourself of that positivity?
What did I do? I don't remember. I was just trying to think of the finish line.
I mean, that's a great way, though. Just, like, okay, like, counting down those miles. Because, I mean, like, I gave myself the little pep talks, but then it was also, like, okay, this is 7 miles.
Yes. I was very much a mile at a time.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, I would hear in my headphones, it's like 1 mile down. I have, like, 6 more to go. And so that was kind of encouraging. But yeah, I couldn't look at the whole thing. I've been like, all right, I have 3 more races to go. Like, no, that was very overwhelming for me. So
yeah, I felt like it was more like that countdown system in my head of like, okay. I mean, I didn't hear it in my headphones, but I don't know if I could have, like, if that would have pushed me or not. Like, I just, like, my watch would tell me, and then honestly, the little mile markers, I feel like
the 6-ish.
That, honestly, the ish made me laugh, but it also pushed me so much more.
Yes, yeah.
Because I was like, okay, ish, like, what are we at? Like, are we at, like, 0.9?
It was not ish. It was, like, far.
It was far.
My headphones would go off, like, minutes later. I was like, okay.
Okay, that's funny because mine would sometimes go off, like, minutes later or minutes before.
It was never right on.
It was never right on. But honestly, I feel like it pushed me to just keep going. I was like, okay, I'm at a mile-ish, 3 miles-ish, 6 miles-ish.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, the ish was just like, honestly, the nicest, like, way to make it seem more comforting when I'm absolutely dying trekking up a mountain.
Yes. Or they'd have the fun signs, too. Did you read those?
No. I think I read, like, one, and it was about burning calories.
Yes,
and I was like, I do not need to hear that one.
Yeah.
What other signs were there?
I don't know. Some were talking about, like, you're running on this big, beautiful earth, or, like, stuff like that. I don't even know. I don't remember. But they were funny. I would read them and laugh.
I wish I read them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like those little things, just, like, the burning calories one, I was like, I've burned enough calories.
I'm good.
I'm good. Thank you for reminding me that
Yeah.
I'm putting my body through this. But it was absolutely amazing.
Literally.
But it was like the ish and then the positive self-talks were like, okay, like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And I feel like looking back, I'm like, wow, kind of want to do another one.
I know. Yeah.
But this time, I think I would train.
Yes. Maybe
like,
a little bit.
How did you train? Well, you trained like
trained
a little bit.
Yeah. I ran. I use Runna to train. And so I would run hills, but I was running hill sprints. And I got to, like, I trained 7 miles before we went. So I was like, okay, I'm good to go. But, and then I ran the Boulder too. So it was like, I was running races. But then when we got there, my favorite thing is when Tyler was like, I'm looking around right now, and it's starting to look like it's going to be a lot harder than what we were picturing. And he was so right. But, yeah, I would start running hills. I would go to the mountains and start running hills for next time, because that's what killed me. I came out hot on the first one, and then the next 2 were so hard. So.
Yeah, you did. You flew that red loop.
Yeah.
You, like, flew those 7 miles. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
She's cooking. But do you think just, like, running those 7 miles, because you literally did that the weekend before, like, helped you, like, a little bit, or just, like,
no, not at all.
Not at all.
No. You didn't train at all, and you did the 7 miles. So anyone can, deep down, I think anyone can run, like, pull out 7 miles. I really do. If you go, like, a good pace and you just, like, hydrate, I think anyone can run 7 miles. Do you not agree?
I don't know, because I did it. I did the 7 miles. But it was also a trail race, so when we're thinking about, like, trail versus road races, it's just, like, the trail race, how much of it did we hike? But that was the fastest that I've ever...
No, we were, like, run hiking.
We were
It
run
wasn't
hiking.
just, like, a
Yeah, I did
slow
like
mosey hike.
No, I would like run 30 seconds, absolutely die on my walk, and run 30 seconds again. I guess in terms of like, can you run 7 miles? I think you can if you put your mind to it.
Yes.
And I think that was totally like the momentum for all of us that weekend. Like, as long as you put your mind to it, like you can do it. It's like turning your dreams into like your reality.
Yes.
Of like, okay, I have this 7 miles or I have this 5 miles, and I've heard everyone say that was the worst 5.2 miles ever.
Yeah.
And it's just like figuring out like, no, like I can do it, and then just going to do it.
Yeah. I think that in the future, in order to run, like make it easier, definitely running elevation and like just going, like literally just running up the mountains, I think.
Yeah. Well, you also said that your dad completely humbled you in this idea of Ragnar.
What do you mean?
Like his conversation with you about
my gosh, yeah.
So like what was that? Because I'm like, I totally needed that. He
was just telling me that it's like you're sleeping on the ground. You're like, you are just out there. There's no one to, it's just you and yourself basically. And like, and the team is relying on you too. So it's like you can't quit. You have to do it. But I don't know. I don't actually remember the conversation. I remember being like really scared going into it. And I was like, oh gosh, like what did I get myself into?
Yeah, but you didn't quit. And I think that's like the one thing that our team did a good job on of having the understanding that like we can't quit for each other.
Yeah.
And we also just couldn't rely on the fastest person.
No, not at all. I think your mom was very scared. Like, she was getting in her head. And I was like, Melissa, like, everything's going to be fine. Like, we're all here relying on each other at this point. Yeah. And she just was very in her head. And so.
She was 1,000% in her head. But I feel like maybe towards the end, she, like, loosened up a little bit. What she, realized that, like,
she could do this.
That she could do this because she was petrified coming from sea level.
Yeah.
And I mean, she also did run on sidewalk and fall and like break her pinky. So maybe that had something to do with that. And like we all go through hard things, but it's like figuring out that once you can do the hard thing, that it became so much easier. Like going into that last loop, I remember I finished it. And
I was so jealous. I was like, oh, you're done.
I was absolutely dying. And I knew that, like, Melissa, my mother, was, like, running that same loop. We had the same schedule. And her seeing how I was reacting, I made her absolutely petrified. But, like, to be honest,
you did have the end. Like, to end on the hardest loop.
And it's like, I could barely walk. Like, my body was in shambles.
Yeah.
But it was, like, just trying to, like, prove to her that, like, A, she could do it. But also, once she did it, she was, like, absolutely crushed it. Like, she was like, I'm going to go out and be, like, 2.5 hours. And, like, no, you're not. You're literally not. Like, I did it in 1 hour 30 and some change. Like, you'll be fine. Like, we both just did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
If anything, you're a powerhouse of a workout.
Oh my god, she's such a powerhouse.
Such a powerhouse. I'm like, who wouldn't want to be 50 and have a 6-pack?
Exactly.
Like, I sure do. I mean, I feel like she was just, like, the emblem for me of, like, the icon that I needed for Ragnar of, like, okay, like, I can do it.
Yeah.
Like, if my mom flew in, broke her pinky on sidewalk, and can absolutely crush this, like, I could go from my couch to this.
Yes, yeah.
With no problem.
Yeah.
Were
you scared going into it?
I was petrified.
Yeah.
I was scared because, and I don't know if, like, you could tell before I ran my first race. Like, I totally just, like, had to slip away.
Really?
And like,
I guess you were warming up. I was like, but you looked official. You were getting your sprints in. Yeah.
Yeah, because it brought me back to my cross country and track days.
Yes.
And that fueled it with excitement, but also a lot of anxiety and nerves because like my last few years of cross country and track, it was like, okay, I'm running it. I just got diagnosed with a heart condition. I'm passing out at the end of every race. Like, and that was me with running every single day at sea level. So how in the world can I do this with no training? Well, in elevation.
Yeah. Throw in the elevation.
Throw in going up a literal mountain.
I know. And when we say, like, going up a mountain, I wish we could show how steep it was, because I had my hands on my knees at some point, like, crawling up this mountain.
Yeah. I was, like, dying inside. But then it was, like, that constant, like, positivity. I was like, okay. Yeah. And once I got started, my anxiety totally went away. And then I saw, like, a switch in me that like made me fall back in love with running.
I know. Yeah. You came to me after and you're like, I can't wait to keep going.
I know. And then running like the race like with you. Was that Sunday?
Saturday, yeah. It was the week after.
It was the week after.
Oh my gosh, we need to give our bodies a break.
Sweat house. Yeah, and so I guess like doing that race, like Ragnar, and then a week later doing the race with you, I feel like that showed me, and we absolutely crushed that race.
Oh my gosh, we went sub 30.
We went sub 30. I mean, I'll give all the credit to you because you absolutely just like kept pushing me. I was like going into that. I mean, you saw me.
I was so impressed with you though.
Really?
Yeah, so impressed with you. I was like, because you were like, I haven't run like this, and I was like, well, I want to go for time, and you're like, oh. Yeah, no, you kept up the entire time.
Yeah.
I think it was just a mental game for you.
It 1,000% was. And I think that mental game only got better because of Ragnar. And then with you of like, okay, I'm doing this like with you. And I'm like, we just absolutely crushed it last weekend together on 3 hours of sleep, walking each other to the start line at all hours of the night.
It was so
absolutely shivering.
Yeah.
Barely like eating because you were just so cold. Everything was like frosted over, and I was like, no, like I can do this. I mean, I did roll up to the race on Saturday, absolutely in shambles. I had no idea where to park, forgot my headphones. It's fine.
You did it.
But we did it. And then honestly, once I saw that we did like the 8:55, I was like, wow. Like, we can do this.
We can do this, yeah.
And like,
but then we have to, if we want to train for longer distances, obviously, like, slow it down. But it was fun to like go all out.
It was so fun to go all out. And I think it was even more fun as like a reminder to me, because every time that I even attempted to run in my 4 years at sea, which like maybe that was like twice freshman year. Yeah. I would be so beaten up on the fact that I wasn't running a 7-minute mile anymore. Yeah. I was like, why can't I run that? Like, what's wrong with me? And so then I just stopped running. Yeah.
I know. You can't look at it like that. You have to... It takes time to get down there and to train for that kind of time. I mean, running that 8... We ran like an 8... What was the first mile?
I think that was like an 8:55.
Okay. It was still challenging. I mean, so I don't even know how people run faster than that.
I know, looking back, I'm like, how did I like go out and like run like 6-minute miles and stuff? Like, But I think it's all about, like, your mentality of just, like, okay, reminding yourself of everything that you are capable of.
Yes.
And now I can confidently say, like, I'm capable of running, but also being happy running. And, like, not being disappointed in myself.
Yeah. Or putting too much pressure on yourself to achieve, like, a 7:20 right out of the bat, you know? Like, it's something to work towards, but it's just a hobby. It's supposed to be for fun.
Yeah.
So it is fun to go lace up and just go out for a sunset run or in the mornings to go jog down the street.
Just jog down the street, jog up, like, Boulder Canyon.
And we live in the most beautiful place to go running.
Exactly. Like, we live in Boulder. Like, what better environment? And honestly, I think it's an environment that really helped me fuel myself. Like, the hours that I ran during Ragnar, I feel like they were the best times out of all of us.
Are you now a night runner?
Oh, I love running at night and the early morning. Like, catch me in, like, the 30 degrees and a sports bra and shorts running. The fat and, like, with the biggest smile on my face ever. I was so happy during my night run. And it was only 9 p.m.
I hated my life during that night run. It might have been because it was, like, 36 degrees out, and I couldn't see.
And you were in the yellow loop.
Yeah. Some lady came up to me and was like, just so you know, there's about a mile of cliffs that you're going to be running on. I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say for the night run, I had, like, the easiest run because it was just, like, the 3.7 miles.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I ran that 3.7 miles, absolutely felt incredible until I hit the road back. And I was like, I literally walked.
Yeah.
On the road. I'm like, this is the only part of this. That is straight. That is flat.
Yeah.
And I'm walking it.
Yeah. It was a long road back.
It was a long road back. And I just remember, like, thinking to myself, wow. Like, maybe I could slow down a little bit because I was it's like my target time. Yeah. I got some ways to go. Like, it'll be good. We're also an hour ahead of schedule. But love me my night run. But honestly, what really did it for me was my sunrise run.
That was epic. I loved seeing the photos from that.
That was epic. Running the red leaf, like, the 7 miles at sunrise.
Being on top of a mountain when the sun's coming up. Yeah.
Honestly, like, that made everything worth it. And made me just, like, stop and realize, like, how amazing everything is.
Yeah.
I just, like, stopped at the top, just, like, looked around, and then I obviously had to take, like, a selfie. Obviously. And I was just, like, the happiest.
And then it was all the way down from there.
Then it was just, like, straight down through, like, the beautiful mountains and then just, like, finishing.
Yeah.
And now it was like, wow, like, this is over, but, like, what can I do next?
Exactly. I was gonna say, I don't think I ever realized the impact that running has on your body. Because and I don't know if because trail running is supposed to be better for you, but I was in so much pain after, and I'm still, like, weeks later, still suffering from, like, knee pain. And so I never realized, I guess I've never run, like, greater distances, but going from 0 to 100 super quickly has, like, a huge impact on your knees, your legs, and all of that. And I never realized how great it could be, or, like, how big the impact could be.
Yeah, going from 0 to 100, I mean, we hung out the next day. And we were both, like, our bodies were hurting. But it was, honestly, like, it was a good hurt.
My knees were not a good hurt.
Your knees were not a good hurt. But I'm, like, something about it, like, I cried standing up out of my bed. I like
it was
literally
so much pain.
Cried. When I stood out of bed, and I was in tears when I was getting changed after. But it was also like just like reminding myself that I just like did something that like how many people
I know
ever did that? Like how many people run a half marathon?
Yeah.
I don't know the statistic. I know like maybe like 1% of the world runs a marathon, but how many people do what we just did?
Yeah.
And so like taking like the amount of like pain that I felt and still feel, because that race on Saturday, I felt it. My little run to like get there on time. I was like, wow.
We're learning recovery.
We are learning recovery. And honestly, how to train and listen to your body. And that's something that like I can't wait to like really work on and like practice of like, I have this event. How can I properly train and like figure out what works for me?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are there any races that you want to do now?
The Boulder-thon, I think, is hopefully my next race. Okay. I think the Boulder-thon is gonna be the next race. I know that I have a couple friends training for that. So, yeah. What is yours? You've mentioned a lot.
I have mentioned a lot, and it's honestly just me like picking one. I just saw like a half marathon in Estes Park that I'm eyeing. But I haven't signed up for anything yet. Because I think for me, of what I learned with like saying yes, is that I also have to like understand and really put the work in to what I just said yes for. So that I'm not in the same position that I was in Ragnar of like feeling like
Ragnar was just a kickstart.
It was a kickstart.
A learn to love running again.
But honestly, like a learn to say yes more and to like work on feeling comfortable in the uncomfortable. Like I would love to join a run club.
I know.
I would like love to like put myself out there and just like go meet new people.
Yeah.
Because like we're both like the people that are like, yeah,
we can do
it. But like how much better would it be like with someone? And I feel like that's like doing Ragnar with you like kickstarted of like, okay,
I know.
We're doing it together, but also like totally separate.
I know. It was fun to see each other like come through the finish line and cheer each other on. So, but yeah, I agree. Of having someone there with you is along the journey is so much fun, but also like having yourself and knowing that you did that is really rewarding.
It's so rewarding. And so like what do you think is like the biggest reward or takeaway though of it all?
Just knowing that I can do it. I have never been a runner. My family's a runner, but I've never like been like, oh, I'm gonna go and just run a marathon or run a half or so I also grew up watching my dad run these Ragnar races. And so knowing that I'm now in that position where I can, one, choose to do it, and two, being able to do it was very rewarding. So, yeah.
You know, it's like the whole like choice of like, yes, I can do this. And that choice of like saying yes. And I think it's also helpful though to see other people do it because like in our society, like now, like you see someone else do something.
Yeah.
And so then you gotta do it too, obviously. But also understanding that like you can do it and having the support of other people is amazing. But it's really just like up to you to be that person to continue.
Yeah.
To do it.
What was rewarding for you?
What was rewarding for me? I think, sort of like you, it was just like that understanding that I can do it. And that I can push myself and relearn things that used to like serve me not in the greatest way, but now serve me in a way that enlightens my life. Because like running used to like, it used to be my outlet for things until I hit a point where it was like me against me, and it was like me against just like this whole like monster of like, why am I not running fast, and all like these downward spiral of things. But now it's like me against me in a positive way. So that was rewarding.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. And here's your reminder to just say yes and choose you and start being comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Exactly.